Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I am doing a review on Young Justice, Season 2, Episode 7, called Death. And it sounds a lot like death, but that would actually be pretty fitting for this episode also. But let's talk about this episode and see what happens, see what I liked and what I disliked about this episode. So in this episode, we get to see Artemis return to the team. After 5 years, she's donning her costume again, and she's becoming Artemis again, you know, superhero Artemis. But, which I just thought of, you know, her name is her superhero name, so, not a great secret identity, but, but anyways, yeah, so she's, donating back to, the costume, and Nightwing needed help, because Carol Ferris and her team, is launching a rocket to Mars. Not everyone thinks this is a great idea, especially the reporter who we've seen in a couple episodes. I think his name's like Gordon or something. And I want to note that I don't like his voice that they play for him. And then, like, I feel like I know that voice from somewhere, but it just doesn't fit that character, and that's kind of annoying in this episode. But, yeah, so Gordon is not right with this. He does not like this, and he's trying to tell everyone, the media, he's showing that the media does like it. So a lot of people on Earth are probably not going to like it either, listening to the media. But still, Young Justice is trying to protect this launch from happening. They want this launch to happen. And Aqualad and Black Manta don't want this launch to happen. So they're trying to put missiles to this. That way it doesn't happen. But Artemis helps, you know, the whole Young Justice team helps to try to help Carol Ferris launch the rocket to Mars, and it does succeed, but at a price, because Aqualad, you know, he's mad, and they're fighting with Nightwing and Artemis. Artemis gets stabbed, and in the beginning of this episode, we get to see that she's dying, and we see that's how she dies, but she doesn't die, because in the end of this episode, we get a big twist. Because Superboy's like, when everyone's mourning, Superboy's like, yeah, Nightwing went to tell Wally, because he knew Wally was going to be so upset. So I'm picturing in my mind, you know, Wally's going to want revenge, he's going to go back in time. Even that would have been confusing, but I'm like, you know, Artemis is not going to die. Because I had, in the beginning of this episode, I felt like, you know, Artemis can't die, you know, in the beginning of this, they keep saying that, you know, Artemis is going to die. They kept referencing that she was going to die. And I felt like if she was going to die, they wouldn't reference it so much and show it in the beginning of the episode. So I'm like, I don't feel like she died. So when we get this twist of Nightwing telling Wally that Artemis died, someone else is there, not just Wally. It's Aqualad and Artemis. Artemis is not dead. We find out that Aqualad is not a villain, which a lot of Aqualad fans are probably happy. I'm not the biggest Aqualad fan, but I'm still happy because he was a good character. He wasn't one of my favorites, but I didn't dislike him, you know? Like, Lagoon Boy, I hate, but I like Aqualad. He's just not one of my favorites. So I was very happy to see that, he wasn't a villain, and that made me very happy. And, that whole twist of that Aqualad did not kill Artemis, and Artemis is going to go undercover with Aqualad with one of Zatanna's necklaces, but Zatanna doesn't know that, she is still alive also. But they're just using her necklace because, Zatanna gave the necklace to Nightwing. So, yeah, so they're using Zatanna's necklace. She's gonna be a different person. She's gonna be undercover, working for Black Manta, trying to get more intel like Aqualad. So I'm happy to see that we're gonna see Artemis a lot more. She is my favorite character in Young Justice, and, you know, Kid Flash comes close, Nightwing comes close, Superboy comes close, Ms. Martian comes close, but, I think Artemis is definitely one of my favorite characters on the show, probably is my favorite character on the show, so I'm very glad that we're bringing these Season 1 characters into the season, even though they weren't in, like, the first episode, we're still bringing them into the season. If, you know, Artemis is gonna be around, we're probably gonna see Kid Flash, you know, we're seeing Aqualad, we've been seeing Roy, so all those characters we were worried about, we trusted the writers, and now we're getting our results. A great season with twists and turns with our favorite characters we didn't get to see in the first episode, but really the story is developing and making us see our favorite characters in such a different way, and I love that. So I love that Artemis is going to go undercover, and I'm excited to see how that's going to work. And are we going to see Artemis, or are we going to see her undercover, I guess, persona more? My guess is when we see Nightwing and Aqualad and Kid Flash together, we'll see Artemis. But when we're seeing, like, you know, Miss Martian or Superboy, then we're going to see this disguise. But I'm super excited to see her more. I'm super excited to see, you know, Kid Flash more, hopefully. But since he does know the secret, I think we will see him more. And I'm super excited that Aqualad is not evil. That was definitely a big twist. I was actually watching this with one of my friends who knows a little bit about comic books, but, he's not a Young Justice fan. He never watched the show. I think maybe he watched, like, the first episode, but he doesn't read comics anymore. He read comics, but, so he knows a little bit about, you know, DC characters. But, yeah, so I was watching this with him. He's, like I said, he wasn't a big fan of Young Justice, but he watched this episode and was like, you know, that was a big twist, and I don't even watch this show. So even people that never even seen this show could say this was the big twist. It's like, I thought she was dead, you know? So that was definitely a big twist for everybody. Yeah, another thing we get to see in this episode is Miss Martian and Superboy. We find out why they broke up, and that was definitely a big story, because I think from episode 1, when we found out that they did break up, that's been a big question, like, why? And I think through this episode we did get clues, because we kept seeing that Miss Martian kept making her enemies brainless, you know, not even have thought, you know, drooling at the mouth, because she wanted intel. And, you know, Superboy always gave an ugly look, or, you know, a suspicious look about that. And we always saw that Superboy does not like this, and knows that something's going on there. So, yeah, Miss Martian used to try to go into his head, try to pry for his information, and that's why they broke up. So I'm definitely on Superboy's team on this one. He did the right thing. Obviously, he's taking it hard. But Miss Martian's like, I think that was right, you know, that was definitely right. It wasn't right, you know. I think I would love them together, but Miss Martian's gotta get her stuff together, you know. Gotta realize this is not a good thing. And maybe if she does realize that, you know, Superboy's gonna say, I'm glad you finally realized it, let's get back together. Because I really do like them together, but something's definitely gonna have to happen with Miss Martian and this whole brain control thing before that does happen. And also the whole Lagoon Boy, which, another thing I have to talk about from this episode. I hate Lagoon Boy. Even in this episode, when I first saw him come to the screen and say, hey, Angel Face, you want this sushi, whatever they had, so you want this, you know, Angel Face? I just don't like him. I mean, I have to say I probably don't like him because I'm such a big Miss Martian and Superboy fan that when I first saw him with Miss Martian, I'm like, who is this kid, you know? Like, why is he with her? And I think that's one reason I don't like him. Again, he's also cocky. You know, you could tell that in this episode. And I think the writers want us to hate him, because they don't explain that he's a good guy in any episode. And every episode we get to see he's cocky, or he keeps calling Ms. Martian Angel Face. Angel Face or Angel Fish, whatever he calls her. So I think the writers want us to get pissed. And I think a lot of people were Miss Martian and Superboy fans. So especially those people, and me, like I'm a Miss Martian and Superboy fan, we're going to get most angry and hate Lagoon Boy. And I gotta say, I don't like him. And when he got kidnapped, I'm like, why didn't he die in this episode? Because I thought there was going to be a death. I'm like, Lagoon Boy's going to die. Okay, that's good. I don't care. Because I just don't like Lagoon Boy. And if he does die in the end, you know, if a character does have to die, I think he could be the one that does. So what did you guys think about this episode? I can't believe we have to wait for a hiatus after this. How long do you think this hiatus is going to be? I'm hoping not the whole summer, but I have a feeling it might be. I have a feeling it's going to be a while until we get a new episode, so we're just going to have to wait and wait and wait. I'm going to try to get some Young Justice, you know, I guess, type videos up while we wait for this hiatus, and other segments up also for comic books, you know, even comic book related TV shows. But I'm gonna try to think of some like topics for Young Justice that we could at least talk about Young Justice while we wait for the hiatus. And again, hopefully it's not that long, but I understand they had to have a big cliffhanger and now we have to wait for it. But it definitely should be good the next episode when it does come out. So what do you guys think about this episode? Do you hate Lagoon Boy? Do you wish Miss Martian and Superboy were together? What do you think about Artemis, whole death thing, the whole twist? What do you think about Aqualad and the whole really being a mole for his father, and still being a Young Justice, loyal to the Young Justice? What do you guys think about this whole episode? Because I love this episode. It was a great episode to end for the hiatus, and I give it a 5. Watch this episode. I watched this episode already twice, so I'm definitely going to be watching this episode again, and probably watch reruns for Young Justice until we do get a new episode. So what do you guys think? And tell me in the comments below what you thought about this episode. This is Comic Uno. Hope you guys enjoyed. And also, guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. In the description below, there'll be a link for both my Twitters for the Rand Situation, my other YouTube channel, and Comic Uno. And I'll just have news about those videos. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, in the comments below, tell me what you guys thought about this episode. This is Comic Uno. Bye.